the myths of an Indian woman, still they believe about the menstrual cycle.
There is no impure blood in the body. It's a usual blood, and this is a natural physiological process in a woman.
Being a girl, what she should know about her body.
From the child, she becomes adolescent, then
Yeah.
she becomes an adult, then she becomes a perimenopausal, then postmenopausal. These are the different phases a lady or a girl has to go through. White discharge can be physiological to the cancers. And what I say is more than 1 week to 10 days, any symptom is persisting in a body.
Yeah.
Or a cough, it is there for 1 month, it's not going, nothing else is there.
Okay.
But she has unexplained fatigue. She needs to see a doctor.
I've also heard about Mahati Trust, wherein you are doing lot of charity work for eliminating the cervical cancer.
See, we started this Eliminate Cervical Cancer. Okay, that was my aim because we used to do rural camps. Every month once, a group of people we used to do. Every time I pick up one lady in advanced cervical cancer, then the villagers, they come back and say, Madam, we can't stay here. We cannot spend time and money here. So we'll take her back, let her die. Then I decided, what am I doing it? Then I suddenly realized that no, I have to do something.
Namaskara, I'm Varalakshmi. Women live much longer than men. Yes, you heard it correctly. Women live much longer life than men live. Parallelly, she also undergoes lot of stress, social inequalities, along with multiple responsibilities. In this regard, women's health is very important to have a better and quality life. In every part of her life, she undergoes various kinds of psychological, emotional, and social problems. So today we'll be discussing about the various myths, disbeliefs, and aspects of women's health. Dr. Sundari Nandiala, a renowned obstetrician and gynecologist having a rich experience of 40 years. She is a retired professor and senior consultant at MS Ramaya Hospital. I'm happy and privileged today to welcome Sundari ma'am to discuss various concerns about women's health. Warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Namaskara, thank you, ma.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, why did you choose to become a gynecologist? May we know about that?
It's a very long time back, no? See, my mother had a lot of problems in her last delivery. It was a twins delivery and she had a lot of problems. And we thought almost we lost. That's the time I thought I have to do something for the woman. So that's made me to decide to take obstetrics and gynecology.
And how do you feel about it now?
No, it's very, I enjoyed it. I am enjoying it also now. And it was very challenging because in especially obstetrics, you deal with the two lives, always. And very high nowadays, high risk pregnancies are very common. Lot of complications during pregnancy. Ultimately, when you give a healthy baby to the mother, that pleasure is something which you cannot
Always
explain.
going to be on you.
Yeah, you can't explain it how you feel when they happily take the baby home. That's one thing you
The most
really
happiest moment of their life, entire life.
And for us also, it's very gratifying.
Yeah, true, very
So
true.
that I like. And a lot of high risk obstetrics, being in an institution, I used to do a lot of high risk obstetrics. So I used to enjoy doing it.
Yes. So, ma'am, what do you think the myths of an Indian woman, still they believe about the menstrual cycles or periods? What do you say about that?
Yeah, a lot of, so now it's okay, better because of the Google and all, people are getting aware of it. But otherwise, still, even in villages and all, a lot of myths are there. In traditional families, they do have it. If they think that what is menstruation is the pure blood which comes out. That's the first thing they think. But it's never a pure blood. I mean, impure blood, they say, sorry. There is no impure blood in the body. Okay.
Okay.
It's a usual blood. And this is a natural physiological process in a woman. Every month or once in 2 months, something like that, they do bleed. That is very, very physiological. But unfortunately, we add up so many other things further and then say that time she has to be not
Away
moving
from
away
the
from the
house.
family and separated, and then she should not go for playing, and then the exercises, all these are avoided during that time. They say a lot of things are there, and even a food restrictions is in some families.
They are not allowed inside the kitchen.
Exactly,
Not allowed
exactly, in puja room, and not temples. Definitely, they don't allow. Still
yeah,
now,
yeah.
There are few temples where strictly they say that women are not allowed during
And I've
this
seen
period.
some temples where women are totally restricted going
Yeah,
inside.
that's there. Okay. So that's a lot of this ones are
Yeah,
there.
traditional
Protest is
beliefs.
there. Yeah, these are all the beliefs. Unfortunately, still about menstrual cycle, still those beliefs do prevail in some families.
Okay. Ma'am, in your purview, being a girl, what she should know about her body?
Yeah, first thing is, see, we have to. This is one thing which is very very peculiar, that each developmental age, like say from the child, she becomes adolescent, then she
Yeah.
becomes a adult, then she becomes a perimenopausal, then postmenopausal. These are the different phases a lady or a girl has to go through,
Hmm.
and at each stage there are some hormonal changes
Okay.
which will affect the body. Okay, and
Okay.
even the psychological status of the girl. So
Hmm.
they must be able to understand this and able to be ready to accept these changes. From a small girl to the puberty,
Yeah.
and then when she starts menstruating, unless she's aware of those things, she's really confused and perturbed about
At the
these
very
things.
young age, school going age, in the
Yeah.
primary
So
schools.
all these things will happen, and the reproductive age, all reproductive problems she can go through, and lot of hormonal changes she will have. And once she reaches the menopausal age, hormones decline in the body, and lot of physical and psychological changes do occur. If they are aware of these things, no, they will be ready to accept these things and go peacefully in life, I feel.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, what are the most common gynecological problems which you have seen in your clinic, ma'am, or your
See, that
hospital?
depends on the age again, ma. See, usually we see that when it is a reproductive age, common thing we see is they are not
Periods.
conceiving. So those are the problem. Nowadays, younger girls, that is adolescent girls, are coming with a lot of menstrual irregularities.
Okay.
And the little perimenopausal main thing will be the menstrual irregularities again. Either heavy bleeding or frequent cycles or no cycles, prolonged cycles. All these are the main problems they come with is this. That's the first. Second one is the white discharge.
Okay.
They come with a white discharge for
Even for
vagina.
the people who are unmarried or
Unmarried, the white discharge is not very common. Yeah, they can have something, but it's not very common.
commonest one.
But sexually active women, usually they do get the white discharges.
Okay. Mhm.
Different types of discharge they'll have. They are worried about the discharge.
Okay.
So it could be a physiological discharge in most of the places time, but still they are worried about it. And then say white discharge can be physiological to the cancers, anything could have been there.
Okay.
So they are worried about it, and they do go repeatedly to the doctors. And but one thing is, when they go, probably what we need to do as doctors is examination is important.
Okay.
Most of the time they don't examine, they give some tablets. They don't want examination, rather they want some tablets. Like this, they go on changing the doctors also. Instead of that, is the woman should accept to get one checkup done properly.
Okay.
And for that, we have what it is. We will be able to find out once we examine her and do few tests. We will be able to know why this discharge, whether it is pathological, that means it is harmful, or it is physiological,
which is
most of the-
common
yeah,
or
physiological
natural,
is
you say.
common. Physiological is very common because of the hormonal changes. Most of the time, even during menstrual cycle, just before menstruation, soon after that, sometime ovulation time, the
Okay.
girl do have a little bit of white discharge. That's very common. But this they
Okay.
don't know. So that's
Yeah.
a problem with them. So depending on that, history as well as examination will tell us whether it is a normal or abnormal discharge.
So examination is most important
Important.
to know what is right
Yeah.
or wrong. Okay. What signs indicate hormonal imbalance in a woman's body, ma'am?
It depends again the age. Suppose it's a young girl, PCOS, that is polycystic ovarian syndrome, is a very common thing. They have irregular cycles.
Okay.
Okay, in the reproductive age and the perimenopausal, yes. One first thing is any change. See, one thing I tell you, whatever it is, any symptom persisting for more than a week, it needs evaluation, I say.
Okay.
Okay, so that has to be done. And a symptom, what else? The weight gain, weight loss, sudden weight loss.
Even weight loss is also a problem.
Of course, it is definitely. See, weight
Okay.
loss always gives us a more concern than putting on
Putting
weight.
on a weight.
See,
We
putting
think
on
putting
weight is, yeah, putting on weight is maybe thyroid. They say they themselves know, Madam, I have thyroid, so I'm putting on weight. They
Yes.
themselves say that.
Yeah.
It may not be. When you are controlling the thyroid, you are supplementing. They should not put on weight. That's a one cause. And your lifestyle is the main thing for the weight gain. But weight loss is always pathological. That's a more concern with the weight loss.
Okay.
Probably we are. Plus the cycles, more bleeding, less bleeding, and no cycles are very frequent cycles. These are the things which will tell us. And sometimes she may develop some other peculiar symptoms like, okay, so
Like ma'am,
anything,
peculiar symptoms like how?
something like weakness, sudden fatigue and weakness, which is
Okay.
not explained.
Okay.
So those are the things which are, they may be very under gastrointestinal disturbances, especially in women. I have to tell, if they have something like a bloating sensation and the
vomiting
loss of weight,
sensation also
no,
we
not
see
even
in many
no,
women.
that is acute. But see, sort of bloating sensation, don't feel like eating, and a little she eats and she feels full. These are the typical symptoms. If they persist for more than say 1 week or 10 days, they denote a ovarian cancer for us. Because absolutely no symptoms or signs of ovarian cancer will be there. They are only gastrointestinal symptoms will be there. That's why
Okay.
women come, even today all over the world, ovarian cancer is diagnosed very late because they don't have any symptoms.
Symptoms.
Only these symptoms will be there. If you give the importance to these symptoms and evaluate, most of them would be having an ovarian.
Yes. So that
So these are the vague symptoms which could really be, something concern. And the breast exam, something like they feel some irregularity or something. There may not be a lump, but they would have felt something. So these are the things which can really have some problem underneath. So we need to be
more cautious enough to be
no, they have, see, as there's a dictum, what I say is more than 1 week to 10 days, any symptom is persisting in a body. Whether it's a very small thing like a fever, it's not going.
Okay.
Or a cough, it is there for 1 month, it's not going. Nothing else is there.
Okay.
But she has unexplained fatigue. She needs to see a doctor.
Having a complete evaluation
Is a must.
all. Okay. So which kind of symptoms do women usually ignore for years, but later she will regret for it?
One is obesity, overweight. They don't even bother. They are putting on weight and they become 100 kgs, and now they come and say arthritis, and then they can't walk, they don't do anything, and now they can't reduce because they can't walk fast, they can't do any exercise, and what little they eat, it puts on weight again, and they repent at that time why they have not taken care of. That's number one. Other thing is the breast lumps. They ignore it. A small breast lump. They think that there's nothing, no pain, no. So something like this they think. That may turn out to be a cancer.
Okay.
Because breast cancers are very common now again in India, especially in Bangalore. So this is the other thing what they will neglect. And I told you just now the gastrointestinal symptoms.
Okay.
So these are the things which later they say, I would have gone that time, no, to doctor.
Yes.
Even
Then
menstrual
later on they regret
irregularities.
for it.
Menstrual irregularities. Sometimes, it is not bothering them much. They think that they don't need to go to a doctor. But later they comes, it could have been endometrial cancer or cervical cancer especially. Then it would have been late. So such things, a lot of things can be like that. And hypertension is the other one which has no symptoms at all. Suddenly she may have a headache and she fall down. Go and say 200, 100 BP will be there. Then they say that, oh God, I would have gone to the doctor. No, I would have checked it up. No.
So they should have a regular checkups to be taken up
so.
that they
Nowadays,
will
yes,
know where they stand.
Yeah. Now we talk more about the preventive medicine rather than a diagnosis and cure. Always many things can be prevented or controlled rather. So it is better once you have a checkup, we know what it is. That they say, we go to a doctor, unnecessarily they diagnose something and they put us on something, they ask us to do some such. This is which is going on in the public.
Yeah, so many
about
people have
doctors.
so many kinds of saying on that. So what do you recommend for a woman to have a periodic checkups? How often a woman should go for a checkup,
At least
ma'am?
it depends on, if it is a young girl, up to 25, I don't say anything you need, but 18 to 25 years, then
Mhm.
they just come once, and then main thing is a counseling at that time we want to do for them,
Okay.
especially regarding their food habits, lifestyle,
Okay.
exercise, regular exercise. And the
Mhm.
minimum checkup what we do is only thyroid and then some anemia. See, in India, anemia is very common. 80% of the women have anemia. So we do check for that, and then we say, and that, accordingly we'll advise them. Other things we don't bother at that age. Once they reach the 40s and all, yes, they need to have a checkup regular, at least once in a year. If they don't have anything, like they are very healthy, maybe once in 2 years. It's
Okay.
always advisable to have one checkup, I feel.
Okay. All right, ma'am. So we see a lot of working women coming to the cleaning where their age is 30 to 40. So what kind of problems they generally have?
Yeah, nowadays, it's very demanding. Woman's life, she has a lot of roles to play.
Yeah.
So the main thing is the psychological stress they have.
Okay.
See, the family and the profession, to meet both ends together is not easy, especially rearing the children also. And how much of help she has in her house, many a time they may not have help. So in that time, unnecessary psychological stress is the main thing which causes. With that, it starts all other problems for them. Okay.
Okay.
So stress related problems
Like,
like
ma'am, what are-
anxiety, depression, and the hypertension. And we say the chronic stress can lead to many things. The inflammatory process in the body can lead to some other major diseases also, diabetes. Okay.
Okay.
It's a proved, hypertension is proved with the stress, constant stress. So like this, they may go in through a lot of problems they can have. So that is a one thing, because it's a demanding now for them. Profession is also demanding, and family
Yeah.
demand is too much. So they'll have, and because of that because of the stress and hormonal imbalances, their menstrual cycles go hayway. And if it is they are in the reproductive age, conception will become a problem for them.
Nowadays, we see a lot of women marrying little late
Yeah.
and having their conceiving age after 35.
Yeah,
That
those
is
are all
also
the
caused.
yeah, these are all the problems they have. When working woman has got a lot of stress mainly, and every profession is demanding. No, they demand and they have targets to meet with. So in the family also they have to take care. All these things will cause a lot of these problems, because basic thing is the stress.
So stress has to be well managed.
Yeah, that's it.
So, ma'am, when should a couple actually start worrying about their fertility?
So it depends on their age and other factors also. It's not like that.
Like, ma'am, like.
See, the best age for a person to conceive maximum conception is 24 years. 20,
Okay.
24 years, we say. After 24, 25,
For both
the
men and
fertility-
women,
yeah,
like you say.
yeah, both. Fertility starts declining.
Okay.
Suppose she's 24, 25 years, I say just wait for 1 year, don't come now. You try. Many of them will conceive and come back. Because that investigations itself starts as stress for them.
Okay.
Once they are stressed, all hormonal hayway will be there, and then hormonal imbalances will come. She may not ovulate, she may not conceive, all this will be there. So
Okay.
instead of that, at that age, when they are married at that age and then they come, immediately some people will come 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. No, I want a child, madam. I'm trying for 6 months. I said, what is your age? Any other problem? No problem. Then wait for 6 months, you will conceive and come back. Because 80% of the women,
So
they
age
conceive
matters.
within 1 year, they conceive. 90% of them within 2 years, they conceive if they have no other problems.
Okay.
Okay. And the age, suppose she is about 35, say 32, 33, as you said, late marriages nowadays.
Yeah.
Then we don't ask them to wait for 1 year or 2 years. They say 6 months you try, otherwise no. Suppose she's obese, she's PCOS. Immediately we say never, even the moment you get married, you start trying for a conception. So it
Okay.
depends on many other factors.
Okay.
In general, it is 1 year. They are together 1 year continuously. If they don't conceive, then we start investigating.
Okay. Okay. So is age really the biggest factor for pregnancy?
Yes.
Or
As
the
I
other
told-
way, hidden factors is also there underlying for
See,
them?
it can be
to-
there. Added factors can be there because of the lifestyle is the main thing. All this food, the fatty food, all these things will contribute.
Junk foods.
Everything will contribute for this. Okay. But the main thing is the age factor. As the age increases, both for men and women, the fertility comes down. The sperm quality comes down in men, and the ovulation will come down in women. That is a known fact. So age is definitely a factor. Added to that, all these things, lifestyle, the stress in the length, any other problem like obesity. She has got overweight or obesity.
Mm-hmm.
She has got a hypertension, diabetes. All these things will go on adding to them.
Okay. So, what lifestyle habits today are silently affecting the fertility of people?
Laziness
Uh-huh.
and most of the screen time, no
Okay.
exercises, and all the food is, what we eat is not at all a healthy food. What we eat, we forgot our own food habits. So all these things are contributing definitely.
For
And
the
then-
infertility.
yeah,
For
definitely.
both men and women.
And then the habits, mostly smoking, alcohol. So these things also contribute. Caffeine definitely will contribute. Coffee
Caffeine?
also, yeah,
Oh,
caffeine.
caffeine contributes to
Too
infertility.
much of a problem. Too much of
Okay.
coffee intake. All these things, See, 1 or 2 cups a day or 3 cups is okay, but
Okay.
everybody, they are in the habit of anybody comes to meet, you have a cup of coffee
Coffee.
with them. You go out, have a cup of coffee with them, and office it provides every 2 hours coffee.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
these are the things which will
So it's a new
definitely-
thing. Caffeine will also lead for infertility.
which are
Okay.
all these things can cause a little bit on the fertility.
What are the most misunderstood medical tests related to pregnancy or fertility?
There's a lot
Because
of tests,
people
like,
say to
we
go with
say-
all list of
yeah.
tests.
So there are few things. First thing, you take pregnancy test. We say
Okay.
they did a pregnancy test, madam. Pregnancy test is positive. Okay, it is positive. There's a pregnancy, but where is the pregnancy? We don't know
Okay.
whether it is in the uterus, normal pregnancy, or it's an ectopic pregnancy. We don't know where it is,
Okay.
and whether it's a viable pregnancy, healthy pregnancy.
Okay.
So immediately it will be positive. Then it is not viable. After few days only, it will become negative. So that's the first common test which we do, and which has got a little, like this. And the other things what we do for the infertility, like AMH, anti-Mullerian
Okay.
hormone.
Okay.
So it's only the quantity it will tell, but the quality of the egg and all, it will not.
It will not tell
It
what
will not
is the
predict
right
whether
quality.
this quality of the egg is good or not. Same thing FSH we do to know the ovarian reserve.
Mhm.
FSH has got a lot of variations depending upon a lot of factors.
Okay.
So early morning you do, late afternoon you do. Lot of differences will be there depending on the confounding factors. So these are the things.
Okay.
And in the semen analysis, count may be normal, but they say something called a DFI factor. Okay, DFI, that is called a DNA fragmentation index. So that if it is high, people may not conceive, but the count may be normal.
Okay.
This is like that. A lot of things may be there.
Contributing factors.
I mean, they may not give you the correct picture. Yeah.
Okay. So why are regular scans or blood checkups are important even when there is no symptoms or no pain for them?
Yeah. This is a preventive era of the preventive medicine rather than a diagnosis and cure. Say many things. One thing, first thing is the cancer.
Okay.
Cancer never have symptoms.
Okay.
By the time you get a symptoms, cancer is advanced.
Okay.
So screening for cancer is most important nowadays
So
because
what kind of screening we can have for detecting the cancers?
Mama, different cancers we have different types of things, especially
Okay.
for all other things like in a female, the breast cancer. Yes, we do the self breast examination. We examine, and the clinical breast examination we do, and the mammography, and then the ultrasound breast. We have a lot of things to do. At least we don't prevent it, but we diagnose very early so that there's a cure is guaranteed in such things. And cervical cancer again, which is the most prevalent cancer in India, where every 7 minutes one woman dies of cervical cancer in India. So that has got a screening. That means you screen the woman. Woman has no symptoms at all. You screen them, and then you can tell them next 10 years she is going to get a cancer. So, and then that precancerous lesions have definite treatment so that you prevent the cancer.
So getting cancer even 10 years ahead, we can know.
Yeah, cervical, for the cervical. Not other endometrial and the ovarian cancer, we don't have screening. But still, if a woman is a high risk for that, yes, from 25 years onwards, we start screening them. Suppose somebody has got, her mother had ovarian cancer, say, and the girl has to get the screening done from 25 years onwards. And after 40 years, we remove their ovaries because if some are, I mean, we have markers. We call a biomarkers. If the biomarkers are positive in them, we may advise them to get the ovaries out at 40 years or something like that.
Okay.
So many things and so many times ultrasound picks up some tumors like a kidney tumors,
Okay.
bladder tumors. So many times it happens that silently they just routine ultrasound, routine examination, it picks up. And diabetes, hypertension are the commonest
Commonest cause.
things which you diagnose by routinely doing a test. And thyroid also, thyroid disorders.
Mhm.
All this can be diagnosed in asymptomatic women when you do routinely. That's why the concept of once in a year get a full checkup has come up.
So yearly checkup will
So these
help
things,
us to
yeah,
detect
all these things in the early stage, so that few things, early stage cancers, definitely you have a cure for it.
Okay.
And the diabetes, hypertension, before body other organs get damaged because of this, you
Mhm.
control them. I mean, you don't cure them, but you control them so that the other organs in the body will not
Are
get
safe.
affected.
Yeah. I've
That's it.
also heard there are vaccines to prevent cervical cancer.
Yeah, of course. There is
You
a
just
HPV
tell me
vaccine.
about that.
Yeah, there is a HPV vaccine has come up now to prevent the cervical. Not only cervical cancer. This cancer is caused by one virus called HPV DNA virus.
Okay.
Human papilloma virus, we call it.
Mhm.
Okay, this causes not only cervical cancer, it causes vulval, vaginal, oral, anal, and in men penile cancer.
Okay.
So this is sexually transmitted virus. So this many cancers can be avoided if only the girls and boys get the vaccine in the right time. Right time matlab 9 to 15 years we say. Now the WHO says up to 26 years we can take the vaccine, we can give them.
At the age of 9
9
year
to
onwards
15,
for both
9
men and
to
women.
15, yeah. In India we say 11 to 15 years. If we give for the girls and boys, it will be good.
Okay.
It will prevent so many cancers.
So many cancers, as you said.
Yeah.
Okay. I've also heard about Mahati Trust, wherein you are doing lot of charity work for eliminating the cervical cancers. Could you
Okay.
just tell me about that?
Okay. I'm passionate to prevent eliminate the. See, we started this eliminate cervical cancer. Okay, that was my aim because we used to do rural camps every month once. A group of people, we are some engineers and me together. We used to do every time I pick up one lady in advanced cervical cancer.
Okay.
I would bring her to Ramaya. Then the villagers, they come back and say, "Madam, we can't stay here. We cannot spend time and money here. So we'll take her back. Let her die." I mean, this was the scenario. Though we said that we'll give a free treatment, but we can't stay because livelihood is every day you have to work. So they didn't want to stay also. It went on like that. Then I decided, what am I doing it? Being a gynecologist, what am I doing? Bringing the late stage cancers, which is a preventable cancer, of course, we know.
Yeah.
On late stage, we bring them and sorry, and you hear after some time she has demised. So this is going on. Then I suddenly realized that no, I have to do something because we were doing camps in that area. Now we have taken the Chikbalapur district. Then we formed a trust because people said that unless you have a name and a trust, you will not be able to get some support.
Correct.
So
So
we
that
started,
localites
yeah.
will
Yeah.
help you to.
Anything you have to have something like that. I believe some organization, some trust or something. Somebody advised us. So me and one IT lady. Okay, she was in US for a long time, but she came down. Her aim was to do something to the country.
Oh,
So she
is from India.
She's from India, but
Settled.
she was there abroad for a long time. But now she's here. Now we met in one of the medical she came to know about cervical cancer. To listen to that, she came to one of the conferences.
Okay.
Then we met and are like-minded, and then both of us wanted to do. Then
that's
we formed a
nice.
trust. In 2011, we formed a trust. Until 2012, nothing could happen. Then we have a lot of advisors from people and all. Then we took the Chikbalapur district. We said that entire Chikbalapur district, population-based cervical cancer screening we do.
Oh,
So under every village, we get
so
the
apart from Chikbalapura, you go for other villages as well.
entire district, every
Entire
village.
district.
In
Okay.
Chikbalapur district, we have talukas, we have PHCs, we have sub-centers.
Okay.
Each sub-center like that, systematic, each sub-center will have some villages under it.
Okay.
All that we will go. And population-based screening we have started from 2011.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
it's going on now.
Okay.
Now a lot of people have joined hands with us. That Indian Cancer Society has joined hands with us.
Oh, that's very nice.
And then one medical college in Muddanahalli, they do free service also. So they have joined with us. So now
Okay.
all of us together, we do the thing. And lot of cases early cancer. Yesterday only we diagnosed one cancer there.
Okay.
She has no symptoms, but she came for screening and we could diagnose.
How old the lady?
She's
was?
42.
42 years, woman. Okay.
And then we do a lot of precancerous lesions. We are diagnosing and we are treating them with a simple treatment so that a lot of cancers are prevented. That is really gratifying for me. It gives a
Yeah.
lot of satisfaction doing that work.
The
A little
social work always
Yeah.
gives that for us to move ahead. So, can stress alone disturb periods or ovulation in a woman?
Of course, because it
Okay.
releases one hormone called cortisol.
Okay.
When the cortisol is released, other hormones like gonadotropins are suppressed. So
Okay.
she will not have periods, she may not ovulate. All this can happen because of the stress.
So
That's why
that-
we say, no, sometimes you just go out and then just go around, run around both of you and come back. Relax and come
Okay.
back. So sometimes they go, when they relax and come back, they would have been, she would have conceived. That also
Okay.
I've seen in 2 or 3 girls like that.
Okay.
So the stress causes all these things. Because of the stress hormones are released in the body.
Okay. Okay. So, what questions do women feel shy to ask a gynecologist, but should never hesitate to ask you what it is?
This is
like?
always there because of any of the sexual problems. They can't come and directly
Question
discuss,
it. It is
discuss with the doctors because they feel hesitant, they feel shy
Mhm.
about mainly the sexual problems what they have. They'll not be able to. Other things, of course, nowadays they do come and ask, but still for this, they have a lot of hesitancy to come and question, clarify their doubts, and then have some treatment if they need to have some treatment. All
Okay.
that is still, it is slow.
Yeah. Is it okay to Google down before visiting consultant?
That's all is
Because
happening.
how does it help
It's
a person?
happening. It is happening.
Because,
That's what they
yeah.
Google and come with a half
Yes.
knowledge. Please, one thing I tell you is don't believe those things because it's not the experts which have given something in
Correct.
Google. Some ladies would have some people. It's a social media, like somebody who has experienced something. They put as their experiences like it is something like a facts. They put it as. And most of the things are not right in that. I mean, sorry to say that most of the things, and you should not follow it unless you have a concurrence from the doctors of the same thing. That's what I advise. They Google and come and then they go on discussing with us, arguing with us. That's all happening.
Yes.
But it's okay.
Even though Google will put a disclaimer that kindly consult the clinical expert, but still people will not
Because that
look
is
at the
easy.
disclaimers. Yeah.
See, you have to go to the doctor means your time is wasted. You have to wait there to see the doctor. And one more thing, you are afraid if negative diagnosis is, you have
Yes.
something and if they say.
Yeah.
But Google is very free. Sit
Free.
at home. In your own
Get
house.
all the clinical
At your
experts'
comfort,
advice.
you sit and Google and you can observe whatever you want. From that, you take it. It's not that when you go to the doctor, you may not want to listen that, but they tell you something.
Yes.
But Google is not like that. You can Google whatever you like. Such things are there so that you can
Correct.
console yourself and you can convince yourself. Okay, I'm okay. This is like this. This. Many people come and say, "Madam, I read it in the Google like this."
Yes. Yes.
So please never.
It's not advisable.
Not a very
Okay.
advisable.
How can a woman choose the right gynecologist for themselves? Like
It is up to
on
them.
their
See, it depends on the credentials and the name. Best thing I tell you is your own friends or a kith and kin who has experienced the doctor. If they say that she's good, you can go. She's a reliable doctor, you can go, you go. Otherwise, it's difficult. Because
Okay.
a lot of name boards and a lot of experiences,
Yeah.
a lot of things have been there. And especially corporate style. Now we work in the corporate styles also.
Yeah.
Those things will attract. But really, what is the genuinity and what is the knowledge and experience in the doctors, you won't be knowing. What is most important is the experience and the genuinity, ethical practices of the doctors, which is important.
Okay. Okay. So we'll come to the final round, that is rapid fire.
Oh,
It's a short answer. You can tell us. So, period pain is normal or not? Like, what do you say, people?
See, it depends on again. Maybe I can't give you a short answer of yes or no.
Hmm.
Period pain in a young girl, which is there for a day or two, which is not hindering her regular activities,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't need a medication, is normal.
Okay.
Okay, whenever it is severe,
Mm-hmm.
it is curtailing her regular activities, like a school going girl can't go school, office going girl, she cannot attend her work, and she needs a lot of tablets for it, or she needs to take a rest. Those are definitely not very normal.
Not normal.
Not normal. She needs a medical aid for that.
Okay. Skipping meals. Harmless or harmful?
See, nowadays
For
we
hormones,
have,
especially.
we have not this something like we're reducing the weight. They have a lot of things. Okay,
Mhm.
the meal skipping is there as one of the this ones for them to
Intermittent
reduce.
fasting. They call it as
Intermittent
now. It's
fasting
in
is
social
that's what
media. We see a lot
intermittent
of.
fasting is there.
Yes.
That's okay, but one thing we should not skip is the breakfast. Because overnight starvation will be there. If you skip the breakfast, what happens is the stress hormones are released again.
So it is affecting hormones as well.
Yeah, stress hormones are released when you fast in the mornings, especially overnight fasting. Again, in the morning, you skip the breakfast, the hormones are released. Okay, when
Okay.
these hormones are released, cortisol is released again, it bring a hormonal changes, as I said before. Lot of hormonal changes it will bring in the body. So
Okay.
that can affect really the ovulation and the menstruation. All these things can be affected. So breakfast is a must.
Okay.
Maybe the light lunch, or you can skip with some salads or something. And the light dinner is this. That intermittent fasting is okay. Now it's helping people, I think.
Yeah. Sleeping late night. How badly does it affect a woman?
Yeah, it affects not only women, everybody it affects.
Okay.
There's a circadian cycle, it is there, and the sleep and awake cycles are there in the
Okay.
body physiologically.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of hormones, when it comes very late sleeping, in the habit of sleeping very late in the night and short hours of sleep, they have some hormones which maintain the neurotransmitters
Okay.
like serotonin, dopamine, and all.
Okay.
They unnecessarily get disturbed with this
Okay.
sleep disturbance pattern, and those will cause a lot of tensions, like body immunity will come down, anxiety
Okay.
and the stress levels will go up in them.
Okay.
Lot of diseases they can get into, and their performance will come down in their profession or studies, whatever it is. All these things can happen if it is a very late. Nowadays, all the children do that, no? They are on the
Yeah.
mobiles and WhatsApps and
Screen,
screen
movies.
yes,
And what do you
Facebooks and all.
suggest for people who works at night shift people?
Yeah, it's a difficult for a long time if they do night shift. This
is
is
not
the
right.
problem. It is that's why they become very tired. They're continuously doing night duties.
Okay.
It shifts the cycle shifts.
That
Sleep awaken
biological
biological
cycle in a
clock,
body.
we call it
Yeah.
as biological clock, we call it as that gets shifted. That will be a problem. But nowadays, yes, it demands.
Yeah.
The profession demands for some people. Maybe sometime they have to, but prolonged time, those things
So
are
long
not.
duration working at night shifts is not
Sorry.
advisable.
Yeah, it is not advisable.
Self medication, biggest mistake, or sometimes is it okay?
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, over-the-counter drugs are available in India. Really, many drugs are available. Unfortunately, say few drugs like a paracetamol, citrazine, these drugs are okay.
Okay, you say.
But see, they take
For a painkiller, for a headache,
antibiotics.
having a simple painkillers.
These painkillers, they go on routinely taking it. And these painkillers, if we take frequently, they can cause kidney failure.
Okay.
Okay. And one more thing is the maximum abuse is antibiotics.
Yeah.
See, she comes with a urinary tract infection, I would have treated her. Okay.
Okay.
And she keeps the prescription. Next time when she has urinary symptoms, she will go and buy the same antibiotic because the pharmacist will dispense the medicines. She will buy the antibiotic and she takes for herself.
Okay.
And this is the way what's happening in India is the drug antibiotic resistance has become rampant.
Okay.
Now we are so worried that there are no simple antibiotics to cure these simple things.
Okay.
To that extent, we have come. WHO says India is the first place where maximum antibiotic resistance is happening because they self-medicate.
Yes.
See, these painkillers, these antibiotics, especially antibiotic abuse. And one more thing is taking this Pantodac, Gelucel, all these things by themselves. Like a
Okay.
peppermint, every day they swallow it and they buy
Antacids.
over
not,
the counter, they
okay.
buy and then they swallow.
Okay.
They are not good.
Okay.
See, unless there's an indication, you should not,
not
be
take
taking
it.
medicines. However, how much benefit you have, the same amount of side effects you can have when the drug is not required and you are taking unnecessary. That
Okay.
people have to realize.
Okay. Okay. So people sometimes they take up the Eno, they drink for the gastritis. Some people will drink the soda. So what do you say?
Soda and Eno may be okay, but it produces a lot of gas. But those are okay. But medications, they should not.
Okay.
Especially antibiotics and
So drugs is
painkillers
what
and
should be avoided.
painkillers and all, without a proper prescription or an advice by a doctor, they should not take those things.
Okay. Okay. Coming to the last question to you, ma'am, like what could you give a message to every woman who is watching us? So what should be a message from your end for having a better women's health, to maintain a better
She
women's
has
health?
to have well preservation of herself, empowerment,
Okay.
and overall health consciousness, and then the maintenance of the health is important for a woman because woman has the key role in the family.
Okay.
A family without a woman, you see how it is
Yes.
shattered, is
Yes.
it not? So
Yes.
women's health is very, very important, and nobody will take care of us. We have to take care of ourselves. So we have to empower ourselves. We have to preserve ourselves so that we will be helpful to ourselves and to the family. So don't neglect your health.
Yes.
Always take care of yourself, and then
Okay.
so that the family is comfortable, family is happy with you. That's all.
Thank you so much for giving us a bright insights of all the women's health myths, disbeliefs, whatever we were thinking is right, wrong. Thanks for clarifying all those queries, ma'am.
Thank you.
So
I
thanks
enjoyed.
for your time and coming and giving us broad insights on
Thanks
this,
a
ma'am.
lot for giving
Thank
me this
you, ma'am.
opportunity to
Thank
say
you.
a few things which I wanted to say to the public. I hope it's useful to the listeners.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.